Which non-terminals are nullable here? Yes. Carefully check. Again here I have written the definition of the nullable non-terminal, which can derive epsilon in one or more steps. Then it is a nullable non-terminal. Here there is a direct production, A gives epsilon. So you said A is a nullable non-terminal. That is correct. B also derives epsilon in one step. So that is a nullable. That is also correct. What about S? All non-terminals you have to check whether it can derive empty string or not. If it can derive, it is a nullable non-terminal. Okay. So if I start with the S, and S derives ABA. So we know A can derive epsilon, B can derive epsilon. Okay. So if I apply epsilon to each of this, what happens? S is also deriving epsilon, no? Am I right? S is also deriving epsilon. If you consider leftmost derivation in 3 steps, if you consider leftmost derivation, what you will do? A, B, A. Then in the next step, you will apply A derives epsilon. In the next step, you will apply what? B derives epsilon. And in the last step, the last A derives epsilon. So in 4 steps, what? In 4 steps, it is deriving the epsilon. So it is also a nullable non-terminal. Is that clear? So S, A and B all are the nullable non-terminals. Okay. So once we have identified this, in this case, S, A, B all are the nullable non-terminals. Is it clear how we have got that it is a nullable non-terminal? All of you please rename yourself. Is that clear? S, A and B, these are the nullable non-terminals. Yeah. Now how to eliminate? So first step is what? Let us rewrite after eliminating the epsilon. Let us first eliminate the epsilon. Next step is what? Let us one by one consider. Okay. We have seen S, A and B are the nullable non-terminal. So you have to check on the right hand side whether the right hand side contain this nullable non-terminal. One by one we'll check. Let us consider whether S is appearing on the right hand side. No, it is not appearing anywhere on the right hand side. Okay. So we'll not consider anything for the S. Now let us consider A. Consider all the productions in which A appears on the right hand side. Okay. So if I consider this, S gives ABA, A gives AA, this and B, here it is not appearing. So these two productions contain in which the A appears on the right hand side. So next step is what? We have to remove A, okay, find the subset of that production and add that as a new production on the right hand side for that non-terminal. Okay. So here one by at a time you have to eliminate. Consider all the possible subsets after eliminating A. So can you tell me which new productions I have to add here on the right hand side? Consider all the possible subsets after eliminating A. All possibles. Ashwin, I am asking all possible subsets after eliminating A. B, that is correct. If I remove this both A, I will get the B. So I have to add B here. Any other? Yeah. That is correct, Rushali. Any other answer? All possible subsets after eliminating A, what I will do? If I remove both A, I will get B. If I remove only this A, what I will get? AB, that is correct. If I remove this first A, I will get BA. Is that clear? What we did? At a time, consider one nullable non-terminal. Consider all the productions on the right hand side. Eliminate that and consider all possible subsets after eliminating that nullable non-terminal. Okay. So this we completed for the S. Can you tell me for this what you will get? Which new right hand side I have to add for this A? Yeah. What I have to add here? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that is correct. Yes. I have to add what? A, because when I remove this capital A, only the subset I will get here is A. Okay, so this we completed for S and A. Third, now let us consider the non-terminal, nullable non-terminal B, and let us check now. Yeah, now you tell me. Consider, you don't have to add epsilon. Now we'll not add epsilon because epsilon we are removing. Okay, so you have to consider the original production. Don't consider the newly added. Yeah, don't consider the newly added. Yes, if I eliminate B, what I will get? A, A. Any other? Any other? Yeah. At a time also you can consider, no, at a time if I eliminate B and A, now all these are the nullable non-terminal. So all possibilities you have to consider. I can also get A, no? If I eliminate BA, all possible subsets should be there. Yes. So this is what for the right hand side of S is formed like this way. This is complete. There is no A, B appearing here. And here I have to add what? What I have to add? B. That is correct. So this is our final grammar after eliminating the epsilon. Okay. Now, in the original grammar, what we have seen, we can derive the epsilon starting from the start symbol S. So if we can derive the start epsilon using the start symbol, then this is our new grammar. So L of G dash is equal to what? L of G minus epsilon, because new grammar is not generating the epsilon, but in the original it was there. So these are not same. Okay, but in the earlier example it was same because S was not deriving any epsilon. Okay, so this was about what? Simplification of a grammar. Okay, so let us move to the next point. The next point here is what? The normal forms. So what are the normal forms? Normal forms, these are the what? These are some standard forms. Normal forms. Okay. So normal forms are the standard forms. They impose certain restrictions on the productions in the context-free grammar. Okay. Complex context-free grammar, it can be reduced to simple forms after modifying them or rewriting them using this normal forms. Okay. So here we shall discuss two normal forms. First one is Chomsky normal form. In short, I'll be saying this as a what? CNF form, Chomsky normal form. And the second one is Gribbage normal form. In short, we'll be saying it is a GNF. Every context-free grammar without epsilon production, it has an equivalent grammar in CNF or GNF. Okay, so let us consider the first way, that is what? CNF, Chomsky normal form. Write down about Chomsky normal form. There are certain restrictions for rewriting here the productions. So in CNF, write down any CFL. CFL stands for what? Context-free language. Any CFL without epsilon, any CFL without epsilon, which is generated by a grammar, which is generated by a grammar in which all productions are of the form, in which all productions are of the form A gives BC or A gives small a. any CFL without epsilon, which is generated by a grammar in which all productions are of the form A gives BC or A gives A, where A, B, C are the non-terminals, capital A, B, C are non-terminals, and small a is a terminal symbol, is said to be CNF. Is said to be CNF. So what this indicate? In case of CNF, on the right hand side, what is allowed? Only two non-terminals or a single terminal. If I am writing like this way, A gives small b, capital C, this is not allowed in this form. If this is given, you need to rewrite this so that it is in this form. On the right hand side, only a single terminal or two non-terminals must be there for CNF. Okay. So if S is deriving epsilon, that is the start symbol. If S is deriving epsilon, that is only allowed in the CNF. Okay. Otherwise, for remaining non-terminals, epsilon is not allowed on the right hand side, as we have written here. Without epsilon, and only these two types of productions are allowed. Okay. So let us consider the example. And now we have to check whether that is in CNF. If it is not in CNF, you have to convert that to the CNF. So here the question may be what? Convert the following CFG to CNF. Okay. So let the question is here. S gives ASA or BSB or A or B or AA or BB. Okay. So first thing we'll check whether there is any epsilon production. If any epsilon is there, then first thing you have to remove the epsilon. Okay. So epsilon is not there. Now after that, what you have to check? Whether each right hand side is in this form. That is what? Two non-terminals or a single terminal. So if you consider here, this is not in that format. This is also not in that format. This is in that format. S gives A. How many productions are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one by one, if I write, there are 6 productions. So this is in that format. Remaining 4 are not in that format. Okay. So those right hand side which are in that format, we have to keep that as it is. For the remaining, we have to convert that in that format. So how to do this? So here there are two terminals. What is allowed? Two non-terminals. So what I can do here, you can add a new non-terminals, you can add a new productions to convert it. You can add, like, suppose I am adding, let R1 gives A. This is a new non-terminal I have added here. I can add, let R2 derives B, so that I can replace this 2A by R1, this 2B's by R2. Let us write it and what you are getting. So this new we have added. So we are now converting this to. So we'll get what this also will replace this A is by this R1. So what we'll get? R1 S R1. This B we are replacing by R2. So R2 S R2. This is as it is, A or B. Then this AA R1 and this BB is what? R2. So this is now our change. Okay. So what is there now? This is in that, this is already there. This two we brought in that format. What about this two? Can anybody tell me? Can I add two more non-terminals and try to bring that in the format in which only two non-terminals are there on the right hand side? So what can I do? We added R1, R2, two new non-terminals. Can anybody tell me what I can do here so that only two non-terminals will be there on the right hand side? क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग? Yes, anyone? Yes, Atharva. These are newly added and these are also in that format. See, R1, R2 are the newly added non-terminal. So like this way can I add? So here there are 3 non-terminals. What we want? 2. So what you can do? Can anybody tell me? Yeah. Kunal. R1 is no. You cannot change the meaning of this. Means finally it should derive this only. No, epsilon. No, epsilon is not allowed. No, Sakshi, S gives what you have written? No. See, what I can do here, can I replace this part by another non-terminal? Yes. Similarly, can I replace this by some other non-terminal? Yeah, now it is clear. So that I can write here, let us write the final grammar now. Okay. So S gives what? SR1 is replaced by the R3. So this becomes what? R1, R3. This is replaced by R4. So this becomes R2, R4. These are as it is A, B, or R1, R1, or R2, R2. And then R1 we have already added. R1 derives A, R2 derives B, and R3 के लिए just now we added what? R3 derives S, R1. So if I substitute R3 here as a S, R1, you are getting the same thing, R1 S, R1. Original grammar का meaning you are not changing anything. You are just rewriting it because CNF is a standard or normal form in which on the right hand side only 2 non-terminals or a single terminal is allowed. What is R4? R4 derives SR2. So this is our final grammar. Is that clear? Is the example clear? How we converted that to the CNF form? Is it clear now? Yes, number 11. Hunain.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 11.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the example clear? You have to remember always these 3 rules. What? There should not be epsilon, and only these 2 types of productions are allowed in the CNF.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next example, let us consider. Let us solve it using CNF. Okay, not clear. So let us convert the followings in the CNF form. You can add the new non-terminals. Don't add new terminals because we are not going to change the meaning. Meaning means what? The language generated by the new grammar, it should be the same as that of the language generated by the original grammar. Okay. So this is given. Now it is a simple example. Can you tell me which productions are already in the CNF format? Which productions are already in the CNF format? Yes, you can type it in the chat window or you can tell me which productions are in the CNF format from this given. Number 15, Pranav.
Yes, ma'am.
Which productions are in the CNF format? You have to tell me the complete rule, Anugrah. Tell me. Which type of productions are allowed in the CNF? Again, I am repeating what? There should not be epsilon on the right hand side. Okay. The production rules allowed here are A gives B, C, and what? A gives A. This type. Again, I'm repeating, only 2 non-terminals should be there on the right hand side. And what? Or. This or this should be your right hand side. two non-terminals or a single terminal. Okay, so in the given grammar, right hand side में which, yeah, that is correct now. Anugrah, it is correct now. Remaining students, can you answer? Yeah. So which, consider one by one the right hand side. This is not in that format. This is not. This is also not. This is not. But this is there. Yeah. A gives A. This is, if you write one by one. अगर ये आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, please write it one by one so that you'll understand you which are in that format. Okay. So A gives A. It is in that format. B gives B. It is in that format. So what about this is not there? So what is to be done? Who will tell me? S gives small b capital A. There are two symbols, but one is a terminal, another is a non-terminal. So what can be done? Can you replace that terminal by the non-terminal and add a new production for that? Number 33, Rohan. Rohan?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? Rohan?
मॅम काय करायचं मॅम नक्की?
You are not audible, Rohan.
मॅम नेट इश्यू मॅम.
Huh?
हॅलो.
Your voice is not audible. हाँ बोलो रोहन. Yes. Okay, Rohan is not. Vaishnavi, number 30. Can you tell me? Vaishnavi?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, will replace B by a non-terminal.
Huh. You can tell me new non-terminal. You have to add the new non-terminal. Don't use A. Though A is deriving A, because that is not the only production of A. Don't replace B by capital B here, because B has other productions also. So I'll add a new non-terminal. You can add a new non-terminal. I'm adding let R1 derives B and let R2 derives A. So that I can replace what? This small b by R1 and this A by R2. So now your S becomes what? If I replace this B by this, you will get what? R1A. Now it is in that format. I'll replace this by B. So we brought this to by adding this new productions. So S का तो complete हो गया. Who will tell me for the A? A के लिए क्या करना है? Yes. What is to be done for A? क्या करना होगा A के लिए? A gives what? Okay. Anugrah, that is correct. You are saying any remaining student, please answer. Only few students are giving the answer. I already told it may be wrong, but try to answer it. Sakshi, don't write it in reverse way. Left hand side में R3 आना चाहिए, right hand side में AA. Okay, you replace BA by R3. Okay, let me first replace this B by R1. In the first step, let us keep this as it is, and let this small a will replace by R2. So we'll get R2S. This is as it is. And same thing, let us for the B, A will replace by A के लिए हमें R2 से replace करना है R2BB, and then B is replaced by what? R1S और B. So अभी कितने प्रोडक्शन हो गए हमारे in that format? This one, this one, this one. Only these two are remaining. Earlier केस में जैसे हमने किया था same way क्या करना होगा? R1 R2 ऐड करने के बाद नेक्स्ट स्टेप में क्या करना होगा? अभी only two are remaining now. Yeah. Okay, so Ashwini is saying what? Replace AA by R3. Okay, so if I replace this AA by R3, yeah. Next BB के लिए भी same way we can do. Yes, that is correct, Ashwin. Yes, Manoj 63 number. Manoj. Yeah, that is correct, Divya. Manoj, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
क्या करना होगा?
We have to change BB for R4.
Yeah. So final grammar, let us write. Okay, I'll close this now. And R3 के लिए तुम्हें क्या करना होगा फिर? R3 के लिए AA and R4 के लिए BP. So let us write the final grammar. तो final grammar आपका कैसे आएगा अभी? We'll start with the start symbol. S gives R1A or R2B. A gives R1, R3 or R2S or A. B gives R2, R4 or R1S or B. R1 derives B, R2 derives A, R3 derives AA, R4 derives BP. So this is your final grammar. Is that clear? Now here you can check right hand side of each production. It is either a single terminal or two non-terminals. Okay, so let us take one more example and then we'll consider the next normal form. Let us solve the one more example, but now you are going to help me. So the third example, let us use EBA. This already we have solved just now for eliminating epsilon. Okay, so if this is given like this type, if the example is given, then what you have to do? First thing you have to eliminate the epsilon production from it. Yeah, correct. Because here the condition is what? But if S derives epsilon, you have to keep that S derives epsilon as it is in the final grammar. Yes. So this already we have seen. Can you tell me? After eliminating the epsilon, we have seen. Will not repeat this now. This already we have seen. Tell me the. So we know S, A, and B all are the nullable non-terminal because they can derive the epsilon. So next step here is what? Eliminate the epsilon. And like here A and B all are the nullable non-terminal. So consider all possible subsets of this by eliminating the nullable non-terminals. So we have seen. So after eliminating nullable non-terminals, we are getting the subsets that we have to add here on the right hand side. Yeah, this we have seen. And then this gives what? A or A if I eliminate here. And this gives B or B. Okay. So we have seen this new grammar, the language generated by this new grammar, it is not same. So it is minus epsilon we have done. Okay. So, but we want here as start symbol is generating epsilon. So we have to keep this as it is. So don't add here epsilon for the S only. Because for the start symbol, if it derives epsilon, that is allowed here. Okay, now I think it is simple. Can you convert? Keep for the S, keep this as it is, epsilon. For the remaining, solve it and tell me the answer now. Which are in that format. So yes. what can be done? See, let us. पहले हम क्या करेंगे? This is allowed, this is allowed, this is allowed. Single non-terminal है. So what we'll do? We'll replace this A by its productions. So we will replace this A by its right hand side, that is this 2. Similarly, we'll replace this B by its right hand side. So what we'll get? Let us see. S cubes ABA. So if I replace this A by its right hand side, that is AA or A. Similarly, for this B will replace by what? Its right hand side, that is BB or B. Or epsilon, we have to keep this as it is. So first step, is that clear what we did? Okay. So after this now, how many non-terminus we have to add so that what is to be done now? We'll tell. Is the grammar in the CNF form? Yes, that is correct. Yeah. We'll add 2 new non-terminus. One will derive. Okay. So for this, if I consider single terminal, single non-terminal, this already we have seen. So if I replace this A by non-terminal, let us add. I'm adding R1 derives A and let R2 derives B. तो कहाँ पे substitute कर सकते हैं हम लोग? Here, this A, if I replace by R1, it becomes R1A. It is in that format. This A as it is will keep. And yeah, Rohan, that is correct. We'll replace this B by R2. This is as it is. So what remains now? Now here there are 3 non-terminus. So what I can do here, this BA I can replace by R3. So R3 derives what? BA. If add, now finally you can write, so R1, R2, R3, these are the new non-terminus. And let us rewrite the final grammar as derives what? AR3, AB as it is, BA, AA, this AA is replaced by what? R1A, small a as it is, small b replaced by R2B, small b as it is, and epsilon. Then for the A, it is what? Small a is by R1, R1A or A. B is what? B, small b is R2. What is it? R2B or B. So final your grammar. Yeah. So we added the 2 new non-terminus. 2 nahi, 3 add kiye na. So your final grammar will contain 6 non-terminus S, A, B, R1, R2, R3. Okay. So is that clear? So that we'll consider the next format. Shall we move to the next format? Is CNF clear to all of you? Yes. So we'll move for the next format. CNF. Again, I am repeating what? Any CFL without epsilon in which all the productions of the form A derives BC, that is all 2 non-terminals on the right hand side or a single terminal on the right hand side. Okay. So next format, GRE, Greenwich, I, normal, GNF. So here also what? Any CFL without epsilon, write down. Again, if S derives epsilon is there, that is only allowed here. Any CFL without epsilon in which every production is of the form A derives A alpha, where A, this is a non-terminal, we know. Capital A is a non-terminal, small a is a terminal, and this alpha is a sentential form. Sentential form is what? String of terminus, non-terminal. What this indicate? That right hand side, all productions start with a terminal symbol. Yeah, each production start with a terminal followed by alpha, where alpha is a terminus or non-terminus. It may be empty string. Alpha may be empty string. So your production may be only A derives A. That is also allowed. Okay. There is no restriction on the length of the right hand side here, as alpha here is a string of terminus and the non-terminus. Okay. So let us consider the example of the GNF. Convert the following grammar to the GNF. Now rules are different here as that of the CNF. So what you have to check, each right hand side is starting with a single terminal, not single, starting with a terminal followed by alpha. So let me check which productions are in that format. A gives AA. This is in that format now. So this is correct. A gives A is correct. This is also, this is. For S, none of the production is in that format. So we can substitute, you can add new non-terminus, new rules without changing the meaning of your grammar or without changing the meaning of your language. Okay. So what I can do here, can anybody tell me? If I substitute here, each of this is starting with a non-terminal A or B. Yeah. If I replace starting non-terminal by its production rules, like A can be, whenever you are replacing A, you have to replace it by all the right hand side productions of that non-terminal. Okay. So if I want to replace A, you have to replace it by both this. Similarly, if you want to replace B, you have to replace it by both the productions on the right hand side. So let us substitute. So here, if I replace this A, so here initially I'll write A or A, remaining part is as it is. Similarly, this A I will replace by its right hand side, that is AA or A. This B will replace it. Or let I'm continuing. So this B we replace. Let us replace this A. This A, replace it. So if I replace it, I'll get AA or A. This B, if we replace. Okay. So what we did in this case, we just substituted, because after substituting, we are getting that in the GNF format, if you see. Okay. So let us concat this. There is a OR. So what you will get? S gives AA, BA, or this ABA, or AAB. If I remove the parenthesis and concat it, AB, or BBA, or BA, or AAA, or AA. If the production is repeated, no need to write it again. Let me write for the first time. So which are repeated here? AA comes twice, so I'll write it only once. Remove this. Then, yeah, it is correct now. So all rules are in that format. A, alpha, alpha string of terminus, non-terminus. So only thing you have to check is what? Whether right hand side is starting with a terminal. After that, it may be a string of only terminals, non-terminals, or combination of terminals, non-terminal, or it may be epsilon. So like here, S gives A followed by, this is your alpha. In this case, your alpha is BA. It is starting with terminal. Alpha is AB. Alpha is B. So all are the what here? Valid productions in the GNF. And for A, there is no need to change because it is already in that format. Okay. So this is your final grammar. Is that clear? Rules for the GNF? Are the rules clear for the GNF? Yes, whether this example is clear to you. GNF, always remember this rule. Okay, so remember the rules for the CNF and the GNF. Okay, I'll take one more example for the GNF. That will not be simple like this because this is a very much simple. Just by substituting, we got this. Okay. So another example. Convert the following grammar to GNF. Okay. So which rules are now? So we know what is expected. Other than start symbol, epsilon is not allowed, and each production is of the form A gives A alpha. So only what? A2 derives B, A3 derives A. These two rules are in this form. So what is to be done now? If I substitute here A2, here still it is starting with both are the non-terminals, here also non-terminal. So listen now, what is to be done? Here, we'll try to bring the productions in this format. I'll explain the rules here. This is known as a left recursive grammar. Left recursive means what? We are repeating recursively. Here you can see the symbol on the left hand side. It appears as a leftmost symbol in some production on the right hand side. Then it is a left recursive. Similar way, the right recursive kya hoga? Symbol on the left hand side appears as a rightmost symbol in some production. So this is a right recursive. Okay, but we are not interested in this, so I will not explain this. We'll try to bring the grammar in this format. Okay, meaning is what? Either you should bring A3 derives A3. After that, anything can be there. Okay, any one of this, let us try to bring in this format because there is a rule to here remove the left recursion from this. So let me first bring. So by substituting, let us do it for the A3. So for A3, what I can do here, I will replace this A1 by the productions of the A1. So that it will get here what? A3 derives. If I replace A1 by this, so you'll get A2, A3, A2. Or this A is as it is because I have replaced A1 here. Okay. Now still it is not in that format. What we want? The symbol on the left hand side should appear as a leftmost symbol here. So what we'll do here then? A2 will replace by the productions of the A2. So if I replace this, I will get A2 if replace A3, A1 or B, A3, A2 or A. So we'll get here what? A3 derives A3, A1, A3, A2 or B, A3, A2 or A. So now, so this I have done for A3. You may do it for A2, A1, any one of the non-terminal. try to bring in this format, A derives A alpha or beta. So what is to be done now? Listen. A derives, I'll write the generalized rule, let A alpha 1 or A alpha 2 or A alpha m or beta 1 to beta n. Carefully listen this rule. Okay. So these are known as a what? These terms are known as a left recursive terms. These terms are the left recursive terms. These beta 1 to beta n, these are non-left recursive terms. Okay. So what is the rule? You can note down also. If this is your grammar, we have to add a new non-terminal. Okay. Here I am going to add the new non-terminal as a B3. Okay, I'll not take B3, let beta 1, beta n. These are the sentential forms. Alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha m, beta 1 to beta n are the sentential form. Each non-left recursive term means what? Beta 1 to beta n. Each of this is followed by a new non-terminal. I am adding here, R1. The same non-terminal you have to use for each of this non-left recursive term. So each non-left recursive term followed by a new non-terminal beta n this should be R1, not the same. Beta 1 R1 or beta 2 R2 or beta n R1. Okay. Then for the left recursive terms, whatever R1 we have added now, we have to write the production rules of that. So R1, so each of this left recursive term you have to consider alpha 1 without this A, without the first symbol. In this case, without the first symbol, you have to consider the left recursive term alpha 1, again followed by that R1, alpha 2 followed by R1 up to what? Alpha m R1 and at the end epsilon. So this is what the generalized rule for elimination of the left recursion. So first bring in this format each non-left recursive term followed by a new non-terminal R1. Then for the R1, what you have to write? Each left recursive term without the first symbol alpha 1 followed by the same R1, alpha 2, R1 up to what? Alpha m R1 or epsilon you have to add. Okay. Then you can remove the epsilon here. I will eliminate the epsilon here. Which is the nullable non-terminal now? R1 is a nullable non-terminal. So you can remove the epsilon here. And once you remove the epsilon, we know what we have to do. We have to consider all possible subsets of this. So this will become what? Beta 1 R1. This is as it is. Beta 2 R1 up to what? Beta n R1. As R1 is a nullable non-terminal, if I remove the R1 from each of this, we'll get the subset as a what? Beta 1 or beta 2 up to what? Beta n. Similarly, for the R1, if I remove the epsilon, I'll get what? Alpha 1 R1. These are as it is up to alpha m R1. And removing R1, you'll get what? Alpha 1 or alpha 2 up to what? Alpha m. So this is. This is a generalized example, but simple case I have considered here only single left recursive term and single non-left recursive term. So this is very simple. If I do here I'll get what? A gives non-left recursive term beta R1. Then R1 derives left recursive term without the first symbol. So it is alpha R1 or epsilon. And later on you can eliminate the epsilon. After eliminating epsilon, what you will get? A gives beta R1 or beta. And then R1 derives what? Alpha R1 or alpha. So now, so same way now here what you have to do, can you tell me? Which is your left recursive term? How many left recursive terms and non-left recursive terms are there? Which is the left recursive term? In this case, the first one. Yeah, it is starting with A3, where A3 is a symbol on the left hand side. So there is a left recursive term, this. So what is your alpha here? If you consider this matching with this A alpha 1, where your alpha 1 is what? A1, A3, A2. And this non-terminal is same as that of the left hand side. And our non-left recursive terms here, there are two non-left recursive terms. This is here you can say beta 1 or beta 2. So I'll write the rule for this. I'll write the rule. A3 derives what? Non-left recursive term B, A3, A2, followed by new non-terminal. Let I'm adding here R1 or A R1. Each non-left recursive term followed by the new non-terminal. Now for that new non-terminal, what you have to add? Left recursive term without the first symbol. So left recursive term here is what? This is without the first symbol. What you will get? A1, A3, A2 or epsilon. So now what I told, you have to eliminate the epsilon here. Here also, एक minute, we missed the R1 यहाँ पे आना चाहिए. So if I eliminate the epsilon from this, what you will get? Your new rules. A3 gives BA3, A2, R1 or AR1, this as it is. And R1 is a nullable non-terminal. So if I eliminate the R1, we'll get BA3, A2 for this first one. And the second one, if I eliminate R1, you will get A. So this is for A3. For the R1, after eliminating the epsilon, you will get A1, A3, A2, R1. This is as it is. And then we eliminate the R1, you will get A1, A3, A2. So this we got for the A3. Yeah, we added the new non-terminal R1 here. Now you can see A3, all productions are in that format, A alpha. So A3 we converted. So once we converted A3, can we substitute productions of A3 in the, can we substitute the productions of A3 in the A2 so that A2 will also become in that format? Once A2 becomes in the GNF, we can substitute A2 in the, here in the A1 so that A1 is also in that format. Once A1 is converted into in that format, A1 productions we can substitute here in the R1 so that R1 is also in that format. So after now the task only remains here is what? Substitution. So do it and write the final grammar because now only A3 productions are in that format. R1, A1, A2 are not in that format. A2 ke kya hai? Right now A2 is what? A3, A1 or B. So what I told you, substitute the productions of A3 here. Okay. If I substitute the productions of A3 here, how many productions are there for the A3? 4 productions. Each of this, then we have to follow by what? A1. So what you will get? B, A3, A2, R1, A1 or A, R1, A1 or B, A3, A2, A1 or A, A1 and this be as it is. So we substituted A3 here by the productions of A3 and that is followed by A1. So we brought A2 in that format. Yeah, A2 is complete now. A2, A3 are in that format. So what we need now? A1. A1 derives what? A1 already क्या है अपना? A2, A3. So what we have to do? Substitute the productions of A2 in the A1. So you'll get what? If I substitute, A2 is replaced by all of this, and that is concatenated with A3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 productions are there. So you get what? BA3, A2, R1, A1, A3, or AR1, A1, A3, or B, A3, A2, A1, A3, or A, A1, A3, or B, A3. So completed for the A1. Yes, completed for the. Now what remains? So A1, A2, A3 to complete ho gaya in that format. If you see, so then what remains? Only R1. R1 के क्या है अपने? A1, A3, A2, R1, or A1, A3, A2. Now what is my suggestion? That you replace A1 by the production rules of A1. So A1 की कितने हैं? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this A1 will be replaced by 5, 5. So total आपके कितने होंगे? 10 productions for the R1 on the right hand side. So write all the 10 productions. What you have to do? A1 replaced by its right hand side, 5 productions. Each of that is then here in this case, it is concatenated with A3, A2, R1. For each of this, here it is concatenated with the A3, A2. And that completes the problem. See, the problem can be complicated like this, but you have to always remember that rule, elimination of the left recursion. So write it for the R1, and that completes the this GNF example. Kotkar sir?
Yes, madam.
All of you complete that R1? Yeah. Kotkar sir, you can continue then.
Madam, Vinod sir will take after 5 minutes. Can you please continue if you are having any problem?
Sir, I am going to college, but still I will continue.
Only 5 minutes.